Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nadine Grace. I want to thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me. It's my pleasure to, just to be here with you and share everything that I'm learning and everything that I'm using on my journey. In today's episode, I want to talk about our attention, where we're placing our attention. The world was set up to distract us, if you know what I mean. The world that we live in was set up to distract us. Billions of dollars are paid every year to create information to have us focus on things that are not serving us at all. And now they're talking about another lockdown and another variant, and that my son is really loud in the background, so hopefully he's not too loud. And a lot of people are getting distracted by placing their attention on the wrong things. Understand that the Babylon system in which we live was created to distract us, was created to have us place our attention on things and people and situations and circumstances that are not helping us to evolve. Our attention is the highest currency that we have right now. And if we're not careful where we place our attention, then unfortunately, a lot of us can get caught up in situations that we don't want to be in. Only the fittest of the fittest right now mentally will survive. And what I mean by that is, if we're consistently placing our attention on the news, on the media, especially the media. I talk a lot about the media on my channel because it's one of those structures that were put into place to dumb us down and to pour fear into us, to have us vibrate at a lower frequency, and to always have us live in fear and externalize our attention. And the media's primary job is to have you externalize our attention, and focus on things outside of ourselves. Nothing on the media that is reported is the truth. The media is literally just there to distract us. And as I was saying before, only the fittest of the fittest will survive this thing called life, because we live in a mental universe, and the people who are running the world, these psychopaths who are running the world, understand how the human mind works. They have information about how our human mind. They have information about ourselves, about our minds, that we don't even have information about. Remember, they said that we're only using a small percentage of our mind. So just think about it. The other 95%, what they say, we're only using 5% of our mind. The other 95% of our mind is, what are we doing with it? I mean, that should be something that you contemplate on and have you think like, wow, I am really powerful. So these psychopaths are doing everything in their power to distract me, to have me focus on things, to have me focus on information, to give me information, to keep me in their external world. Understand that the world that we're looking at right now, the world that you can see with your eyes and you can see, is an illusion. It's already manifested. So if we're living our life externally, just always outside of, just always looking around and always thinking that this is my life, then unfortunately we are being controlled by the psychopath. And it is our responsibility. Right now, we're at a critical time right now where it is our responsibility to be more vigilant on what we place our attention on what we focus on. Our attention is our highest currency. So it is important to feed your mind positive things, positivity. Feed your mind information that reminds you that you're a powerful creator. Feed your mind information that have you go within and connect to your inner being. We all have our inner being inside of us who are consistently talking to us. But because we're always externalizing our attention, and we're always looking at things that are not serving us, we're not able to hear that voice. So it is very important for us to be very protective of where we place our attention, because right now we're going through a war, and it's not a physical war, it's a mental war. We're in a mental war right now. If your eyes are wide open and you're wide awake, then you will know what I'm talking about. We're in a mental war right now, and only the fittest of the fittest will survive. And in order to survive this mental war, it is so important that you only focus on things that are helping to build you, that you only focus on events that are helping to evolve you, that is expanding your mind. It is so important for us to brainwash our minds. We got to brainwash our mind every day, with the right information, with knowledge of self, with how the mind works, with how just information just keep telling us that we are powerful creators. It's so important to feed our minds with information that will help us to evolve, and that information that we can use to build ourselves up. It's all about the agility of the mind. It's so important for us to have a mind that is working for us and not against us. There's a mental war, and these psychopaths who are running the world, they totally understand how the mind works. They spend millions of, if not billions of dollars every year coming out with tools and applications and coming out with information to enslave us. And they have been enslaving us now for thousands of years. So it's really important to really focus your attention on the things that are serving you. Even the metaverse. The metaverse is created to bring you into their artificial world, into their synthetic world. You know, to have our minds trapped into the artificial synthetic world while they're out here in the real world, in the physical world, running things. So, you know, I just really want to drive home that and remind you that you're a creator. We all are creators. We are creators. We're creating our lives. And our circumstances should not affect us, right? The circumstances that's going on in the world have no effect on us if we're focusing on the right things. The circumstances that are going on right now, they're planning on a lockdown and food shortages and a new variant that's coming out with this pandemic, that shouldn't affect us, because we're powerful creators. We're powerful creators. We are literally co-creating our reality with God. We have the full power of God to create whatever circumstances we want to find ourselves in. So we need to right now be spending most of our time doing that, being very conscious of what we think of, creating the world that we want to live in. Because if not, they're out there they're already creating that world, that they have already created the world that they want us to live in. It's all a mental thing. It's all about our mind. We live in a mental universe. Everything is mental. It is a mental war going on, not a physical war, a mental war. And only the fittest of the fittest will survive. And it all boils down to, where are you placing your attention? Where are we placing our attention? Because our attention is the most valuable currency that we have right now. Not the money that we have, not the big house that we live in, not the nice cars that we drive. Because if we have all those things, but yet we don't know thyself, we don't know ourselves, then, really. So it's really important that we make our thoughts as conscious as possible, and to to just assess yourself and making sure that you're living in heaven and not in hell, because heaven is a state of mind. Heaven is your higher mind. Heaven is our higher mind. And where we're living right now in this physical world that we're looking at right now, the illusion, that's hell. But once you elevate your consciousness, once we raise our consciousness, we have less war. And what I mean by less war, I'm talking about less war with negativity, with our finances, with negative people, with just, struggles that we find ourselves in. When you really think about it, life is simple, but we complicate it because we were conditioned and we were groomed to focus on negativity. We were conditioned and we were groomed to only think of, we were conditioned and we were groomed to focus on what's not working. Our entire life, from the moment we came out of our mother's womb, from the moment we came into the world, we were conditioned to focus on what is not working, to focus on things that are not serving us, to focus on the negative in our lives. When all we need to do is to be so freaking persistent in focusing on things that are going right, to be grateful for the things that are going right in our lives. This world was conditioned to dumb us down. The psychopaths who are running the world have it all figured out. They understand that everything starts here before we can see it outside. They understand that we are powerful. They understand that we're co-creating our reality. We're creating our realities. They understand that once we are vigilant and once we are persistent and resilient upon, just being a conscious creator, there's nothing that they can do they can't touch us once we start consciously creating our lives. They understand that, and that's why they create all this information and all these things to divert our attention, to have us focus on, to distract us. That's the word I was looking for, to distract us, to look at things on the news. That's why they created race wars. That's why they created this pandemic. That's why they create all these things to have us externalize our attention to fear. It all boils down to fear. To have us always be in a state of fear and fight or flight. Oh my gosh, this is going on in the world. I'm so scared. What's going to happen to me? I don't know what my life is going to be like. I just lost my job. Oh my gosh, just to create that state of fear, to create that environment. And once you create that fearful environment and that environment of, fight or flight and always worrying, once you embody that type of environment, that's what you're going to bring out into your physical world. And they understand that. And that's why they spend so much money in providing that information to us and giving us that information in creating all, like the metaverse. That's why they spend so much money in creating the metaverse, because they understand that, once they get you mentally, you're done. They understand that once they get you mentally, they're controlling you. And they have controlled us far too long now. It's been too long, and no more. We're saying no more to this, and we're taking, we're taking our lives back and taking our control back and step into the creative being that we are and taking responsibility. It's all about being responsible. It's all about us being responsible for where we place our attention. Life is all about just being responsible. It's not who is the president, who cares who's the president, right? It's not us fighting against each other. It's us about consciously creating the life that we want to find ourselves in, creating our realities. My son is really loud. I really hope that you can hear him. But I really wanted to just really make this point to bring to your attention that your attention is the highest currency that you have right now. And that's what they want. That's why they have been coming, they've invested in billions of dollars into getting in here, into getting your attention. So be very vigilant where you place your attention. Invest your time more than ever now into materials that are going to raise your consciousness, because once you raise your consciousness, it's less war, less internal war, because the war is right here. Once you raise your consciousness, once you raise your consciousness, then you raise your level of vibration, and you go into another dimension of yourself, and life start changing on the outside. We are literally co-creating our reality. We are creating our realities. And you remember that where attention goes, your energy follows, your energy flows, because we're energy beings. So I hope I was able to make, to bring some value. I just felt really called to talk about it because I don't watch the news, but every now and then I'll go on Facebook and and I'll see people talking about, the new variant that's coming out, and the lockdowns. This is an upcoming lockdown, and food shortages and all of that is coming. But the question is, are you going to be worrying about the food shortages, the lockdowns, the new variant with the pandemic? Like, are we going to be focusing our attention on that, or are we going to consciously create the life that we desire to live in? Are we going to consciously create the reality that we want to be in? Are we going to work on focusing on thinking good thoughts, reading inspirational, motivational materials, meditating, connecting with our inner beings? That's what we're going to do. We're not going to focus on all that foolishness that they have out there, because it's just to distract us. And we're awakened now, and we're literally the change that we want to see in the world, so just wanted to make this video and to remind you all that we got this. We're creating our realities, and once we focus on good thoughts and really building ourselves up and focusing on taking care of our internal environment, that nothing can touch us. Alrighty, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment below and let me know what videos that you would like to see. I like talking about metaphysical things, personal development, spiritual growth, personal growth, spiritual awakening, angel numbers, just everything. I like to really, get into discussion about that. Alrighty, I love you all, and thanks so much for watching this video. Bye-bye for now.